Hey there, film studies people. Here is what are going to do. So I've got an assignment for you that you can choose when you want to do it, but I'm going to give you about a week to do this part of it. Hopefully you enjoy it. Letterboxd is a pretty cool site where you can go and you can catalog the movies that you've seen. It's got a really nice intuitive database of like all of the most popular movies of all time. So you'll be able to go through, choose some movies that you've seen, make lists, do that kind of stuff. I'm going to have you start this week by doing three things. Okay, so you have a full week to do that. You're going to catalog at least 50 movies that you've seen, and you're not going to have to remember them. It will be a little bit more intuitive, and it might be kind of fun, actually, a little bit addicting, I got to admit. But also, I'm going to have you make a list of like your top 10 movies, which I understand what I'm asking you. And I tried to make a top 10 of my own favorite movies, and I made a top 236. So that's progress. Okay. I can't get it down to 10. You can't make me. So if you're going to make a top 200 instead of top 10, I get that, but I am going to ask you to write and like defend why your top 10 are there. However, I understand the difficulty of trying to take all of the movies you've ever seen and put them next to each other. Like, how do you take a movie like WALL-E and put it next to John Wick? How do you take a movie like The Shawshank Redemption and put it next to Dumb and Dumber? Like, it's absurd. So I'm not going to ask you to do that. I'm going to ask you to, well, do that in your top 10, but then in a different list, I'm going to ask you to make a genre list. Okay. So top 10 scarier movies, top 10 action movies, top 10 animated or war movies or whatever. You're going to do something like that. And then you're going to do a little bit of writing. But again, you have about a week to do this. So choose when you want to do it. On the side, we're also going to be doing another assignment, but I always have two things going. We didn't do that with the scene analysis, but now, we've kind of moved on. Your scene analysis is in to me, hopefully, and I'm taking a look at it, and I'll be getting back to you on that. So anyways, Letterboxd. What you're going to do is you're going to click on the big green Get Started. You're going to put in your email address. I would suggest you use your school email. If you want to use your personal Gmail, you can certainly do that, but you don't have to. Give yourself a username, password. I will say, if you're 15, I hadn't anticipated this. So if you're 15, see me about that. If you are not going to, I'm not going to ask you to click the thing where it says you have to be 16 to join and whatever, but let me know if you run into that, and I will make arrangements to figure out what you're going to do. Do all the things, say you're not a robot. I'm going to go ahead and get around this, and I'm going to sign in because I am already on the site. Let's see. Can I remember myself? No, that's not it. It's attributable to human error. Sorry to make you. I'll probably cut this out. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. Who knows? It is Wednesday night. All right. So once you get in, you're going to get something. Your page is going to say like add movies. It's going to like take you through the things you should do. Me, I've already done this. So I've gone through, and if you go through my profile, I've already added like 1,500 movies that I've seen because, wait, are you judging me based on that? Or you think it's awesome that I've seen that many movies? Okay, good. I'm glad we understand each other. So I've gone through and I've added movies and I've added reviews. And this is something that I do because I love movies and, not for the glory of the 151 followers or anything like that, although it's growing. And you know what? It is nice that it is kind of a cool community of people. I like seeing what other people have watched as well. But you're going to go through and you're going to add the movies. I believe in the written directions probably figure it out a little bit better for you. But you're going to get a big page like this where you have you seen this movie? Have you seen this movie? And you're just going to click like yes, 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 yes. Later, when you have time, if you're interested, you'll go through and you'll add stars and you'll rank them and you'll write reviews and whatever. Over time, I've done that. And especially with like 6 months of a pandemic here, I took the time and I went through, and I'm kind of proud of the work that I put in writing a little bit about each of these. Some of these are just ridiculous one sentence, snarky reviews. Some of them for movies that I really are kind of beloved. I took the time to, say some things about them. And if you're interested, then, follow me and check out my lists and my reviews. And if you like the taste in movies that I have, then, if I recommend something, you'd probably like it as well. So what you're going to do, you're going to make your list of your at least 50 movies that you've seen. And then you are also going to add 2 lists. And in the assignment, I'll show you what you're going to do there. Okay. Right, and we're back. So here's what I'd like you to do. This document will kind of take you through the steps. Number one is all about how to join Letterboxd. And once you've done that, you click on the complete your profile and click on the popular films. Up to you if you want to do your profile. Not extra points for doing that. It's just like maybe you want to use it and make it nice. But the popular films will take you to kind of a page of like 30 films or whatever. And you just have to go through and like saw it, whatever. And it's pretty intuitive. Like I'd imagine that if you've seen a lot of movies, you're going to be kind of surprised by how many you've seen. When you get to 50, you can stop. Or if you're like me and you've gone through like 32, 33 pages of it, maybe you stop when you get to some movies that you know only like 3 other humans in the world have probably seen because they were garbage. But you saw them and it was a part of your life and it's important. So as a side note, if you do get like 20 pages in and you're thinking, I really want to keep going, but I don't have time for this. If you look at the URL, there'll be a page number at the end, or there'll be a number. If you just copy that URL and like post it somewhere to come back to it, you can always copy it, paste it again, and then change if you were on page 21, change that 21 to 22, and then it'll take you to the next page. Otherwise, you have to click through that many pages to get back to where you were. All right, side note stopped. Next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on lists, and you're going to build yourself a list. And I do understand what I'm asking you to do by making a top 10. So I don't want just a top 10 of like, here's my top 10, boom. I want some explanation because this is kind of a writing class and I do want some thought. And I think it's really fascinating to think about how we contain multitudes of so many different things. How can you have The Shawshank Redemption next to Dumb and Dumber, next to some movie you saw when you were a kid that, you're thinking, I just love this movie. I know it's not one of the greatest movies of all time, but it's in my top 10 because it's in my heart or whatever. That's what I want. Like, I want a really cool, interesting list that shows me who you are with a little bit of explanation behind those. You can go hog wild and write as much as you want, but you got to at least write something. Okay. And if you're doing it like a pro, and, I think you should always act like, start with number 10 and work up to number 1. All right. So the second thing you're going to do, I want you to make a genre list. Okay. This is where you do horror, you do animated horror, you do action, you rank the Star Wars movies, the Marvel movies, the whatever war movies, whatever you want to do. But for that, I think you need to have some kind of criteria. I think you need to have a paragraph or something before you get to your list that says, all right, here's what I'm looking for when I'm watching war movies. Here's what I'm looking for when I'm watching Fast and Furious movies or whatever. And then you have your criteria, and then you can start with number 10. Here's why this one is here, on through to number 1, and say, this is why Corpse Bride is the best animated movie of all time. Although I wouldn't pick that. I would go with Fantastic Mr. Fox because I love me some Fantastic Mr. Fox. Maybe there'd be something else. I don't know. I'm on the spot. And so what you're going to do, give me your username, whatever you came up with. Give me the link to your top 10 and give me the link to your genre list. That's it. That's the assignment. You've got a week to do that. Hopefully it's fun to do. Like, I'm not trying to waste your time, but I'm also not trying to give you things that I think are busy work. Okay. Hopefully you enjoy this. And I think it is also thoughtful work for you to do that is related to movies. In the meantime, we are going somewhere with this. What you are going to do after this week is each week on the side, whatever time you want, you're going to pick a movie to watch on your own, not assigned by me, that you will watch and you will write a review of. Okay. Hopefully you don't think of that as like, oh, I got to do this. You get to write a review of it and, and post it, and I will take a look at those. So I will kind of suggest kinds of movies, and I do have lots of movies I can share that you can watch. But I'd imagine most of you have access to movies. I don't think we're going to do TV shows here. But I think if you are digging through this, maybe you should do a little research on like, what are some of the greatest movies of all time? Maybe you should find something that's completely not on your radar, not something, we will watch The Shawshank Redemption together, which is one of the better movies of all time, but maybe you see something weird. Maybe you see something that you've never heard of. Maybe you see something foreign. I don't know. But if you're like me, you don't like that there are lists of the best stuff of all time, and you're not part of it and you're not aware of it, that probably bothers you. So this is a good time for you to rectify that and watch some of those great movies of all time. I give you permission to watch movies and to talk about them and to think about them. All right.